Hello boys and girls, welcome to another week in the Dragon Isles. We have not a new patch, but we have a few changes coming up this week. And one of them is, of course, the Holy Paladin change, which reduces their damage done. So if you're just a healer and you're not doing plus 25 keys and above, you should not worry about this because it's not going to be that relevant to you. This time, at least, the healing itself is not being touched. So at least from that perspective, we're not getting nerfed. The bear is getting some nerfs. Mage is getting even bigger damage reductions with this week's changes. And overall, I don't think this is going to change the meta too much, but they're trying. They're aware of it, and I guess they're trying. However, there is another big change in Mythic Plus, and let me show you that on the screen right now. So every keystone above level 20 is now going to scale with 8% increased enemy damage and health instead of 10. So this is, I guess, the first positive thing that we have seen ever since they started those big nerfs. And unfortunately, that probably means absolutely nothing to you. Why? Well, first, if you're not doing anything above 20, even if you're doing 20s, this has absolutely no effect on your Mythic Plus runs. So yes, they nerfed your class, but unfortunately, if you're not doing very high keys, this is not going to affect you in any way or case. Now, if you're doing keys above 20, this is also very irrelevant to you if you're just doing like 21s and 22s, basically the level where I'm playing right now. Because the reduction is going to be there, but it's going to be 2-4% for the first two key levels, and you're going to feel that difference once you start going up the ladder and you start doing plus 25 keys, etc. After this change, which means basically right now, the old plus 30 is now equivalent to like 28, which means that people will be able to do 2.5 levels of the key more than before. So from that perspective, unless you're doing really high keys, it's a positive change, but it is not going to affect you at all. In any case, there's two more changes here in that article that you can see. The Wholesome Infusion and the Udaman Dragons and Time Reavers are getting nerfed. Their damage over time is getting nerfed, which means that you're basically going to be easier to do them without having Mass Dispel and Shadow Priest in your group. However, the Shadow Priest is still going to be required in many other occasions. It's still going to be good for these encounters because they can still do the Mass Dispel. It's just that the damage is going to be a little bit slowly ramping up in those two occasions. So that's another case of, okay, I guess they know about the problem, they're aware of it. And my hope here is that in Season 3, they're going to just make the design so we don't need Shadow Priest in every group. And if somehow they can manage to do it so we don't need Augmentation Invoker in every group, then that would be actually awesome. Alright, so back to the game. This coming week is actually pretty nice push week. It's a Fortified, Storming, and Bursting. Now, Fortified, of course, tries going to be harder. Be careful, your tank could die in any moment, so be prepared to heal them, be prepared to use cooldowns to save them, and Storming can always kill you if you run into a tornado in a very inconvenient moment, especially if you're melee. If you're range, it's probably one idea easier. Now, many people are afraid of Bursting, but Bursting is basically no affix. Even if you kill a whole bunch of mobs, you can always press a defensive and you're not going to die. Or you can always dispel yourself, and if the DPS basically messes up and kills and extends the debuff way too long, then it's their own fault, right? You can always dispel yourself, and then you can res everybody who died. The tank is also not going to die from this, so basically you can res the DPS if they mess up. So don't be afraid of this. The only, I guess, minus is that this kind of keeps you in combat after the mobs die if you don't dispel yourself. So if you need to drink, and even if you're not going to die, you can still dispel yourself, because once you dispel yourself, you can start drinking. If you start drinking before that, the ticks from the damage are going to interrupt your drink, and you're not going to get that much mana anyway. So just keep that in mind, but I would say this is a pretty nice push week, and with the nerfs, if you're doing plus 20 keys, I guess that is the time to go and play the game. And now, having said that, let's just check the votes. that we're going to be having. You can check the article that I showed you earlier in the description of this video. There's also nerfs to the raid. And I didn't play my Paladin that much last week, so as you can see, I only done 4 keys, so I'll just take tokens here. Those are okay, they have avoidance. Hold on. My other ones have speed, but I can upgrade them to 447 and convert them, and I would value that avoidance is actually much more valuable than speed. However, I had many guildies tell me that, oh, I had this piece and it had like leech or something, and I converted it and it lost the tertiary stat. So if I take this, I would definitely convert it, and I would use it if it keeps the avoidance, but I'm kind of gambling, right? Because if it loses the avoidance, then I'm not going to use it anyway. But I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances. Maybe they fix the bug. Maybe it's not a bug, and I don't know. You don't know with Blizzard. But even if I take 4 tokens, that's not going to be enough for a socket. So I'll take my chances to convert this and actually use it instead of the speed one. As avoidance is the higher the more higher keys you're doing, the better avoidance is, because it's going to help you take less damage and live in situations where otherwise you might die. I don't think I played the Shaman that much either. I helped a few low keys to friends and guildies. Maybe I run like 1 high key or something. So, but let's open the vault here, and then I'll jump to my monk. I played my monk a little bit, waiting for that nerf of the high keys, basically. Although it's not going to affect me much, simply because I don't do 25s. But I focused on just playing olds, gearing them up, and maybe I can pick them up next big patch, which is announced on September 5th. So, you know, that's 0.7, of course, but it's not going to change much in the M+ scene. Hopefully, it's going to present us with enough to actually make it to the next big patch, which is probably going to be end of October or beginning of November. Opening as enhancement here, I don't really care. Pocket Anvil, so that's a good thing to consider. That neck is Verse Mastery. So this is probably not bad for the Elementalist build, but there's also another neck, which kill me. It's this one, right? So this one is Haste Mastery. It's a little bit less mastery, but haste is definitely better than Verse in that case, so we don't care. Crit Mastery Waste without a socket, minus Crit Verse, which is best stats for healing. It's not very good for DPS either. I have a crafted one there anyway, and this is not even going to be 447. So the only thing to consider here is the Pocket Anvil. So I will check if that's actually even viable for a damage dealing as enhancement. I'm pretty sure it's not, so I'll just probably pick the sockets here. The problem is, though, that at this point of the season, I don't think there's many places where I can place the sockets. My helm already has a socket, neck has a socket, bracers have socket, belt has sockets, so maybe I can just put it on this ring or something. I was just hoping for a 447 ring, but it is what it is. Well, let me check my monk as well, because the monk at least should get something, because I'm missing a lot of pieces there. I'm actually pretty scrub on this tune. I'm like 437 maybe. So I still have some 424 pieces that could be easily upgraded to something better if the Vault gods are going to give me a wink today. I hope I parked my monk in front of the Vault. Okay, I did. Opening as Mistweaver, of course, so I'm 438. And there's a lot that I need. We'll check that in a second. So here's a ring, Crit Mastery. No haste on it, so I'm not happy. Feet, I already have feet at 447. Crit Mastery, same stats. And then we have a belt. With Crit Mastery, which is not better than Haste Verse, I don't think. And it has a socket, which mine already has a socket as well. So maybe I'll just pick this. It's not awesome stats. If the crit was Haste, that would probably be better. But Mastery is not bad for healing in M+. It gives you some extra healing. That's about it. And the crit is crit, you know, it's not haste, but it is a stat, which is not very useful, but nevertheless. So I'll just probably pick this because it is going to be like 23 item level upgrade, and then eventually, hopefully, I'll be looking for a better stat ring, and in this case I'll be upgrading the same ring, the scale being signet basically, so I'm not going to lose haste basically because I don't have haste on my ring anyway, and then hopefully I will be able to replace this with a better ring eventually. Alright, so good luck in your keys this week. It's not a bad week to play in M+. If I have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, good luck and take care.